When you talk about Africans be begging, we be begging. We be begging. It's not just the presidents. It's not just the police officers. It's not just the politicians. It's not just the business people. Everyone begs. Period. Every young girlfriend out there who feels the right to ask a dude for whatever to do her nails, paint her toes, fix her hair.
Petition.
No, John, if we're going, let's go.
Tuition is different. Tuition is
This is
different.
it's okay, guys. It's a whole goddamn nation of beggars. A whole bunch of begging ass girls who just want a dude to finance their lifestyle so they don't have to work hard and become independent. And you're saying that your gift, this is your investment in me. You're a beggar.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Johnny Tamaya and this is the Repart Podcast. I'll let my brother in Christ over here introduce himself.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Hi guys, Outer Brian here, content creator, man from the East. Yeah, glad to be here.
Okay.
In Kenganda.
Yeah.
God is good.
Amen.
All
What's
the time.
happening
All the
here?
time.
And the Lord is good.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Juliet. I do many things, but I love being on this podcast. That's why I'm here.
Oh, that's such a very good introduction.
So give me some 50K.
You're welcome. Gabs, please.
What's up, world? What's up, world? Master Gabs here. Happy to be back in the building, but we miss our brother O'Shea, man. So we're gonna fill in for him today and do a great job while he's tricking off out there in outside countries.
Doing the most.
You know.
So guys, there's this video. The president of South Africa is telling other world leaders that Africans are not beggars, or Africa as a continent is not a beggar. Watch this clip with us and react to it with us.
Sense that we are beggars, that we are being dealt with out of generosity. I think it's important in the new era that the world is in now that there should be a good measure of equality among sovereign nations. You know, recently, 7 African countries decided to go and put a call for peace to Ukraine and to Russia. And we raised a number of issues. Zambia was represented, Comoros was represented, Republic of Congo was represented, Senegal was represented, Uganda, as well as South Africa. So we were all represented, and Egypt as well. So we were all at one, that even as we were going to address an issue of the war which has had a negative impact on the African continent, which is the rise in prices for food, rise in prices for fertilizers, we were clear that we are not going there as beggars. We are not going to ask for a favor to both Ukraine and Russia.
Okay, guys. The clip is long. Unfortunately, we can't play the whole thing. But the gist of everything is he's trying to say, as Africans, we are not beggars. You know? They went for a world leader summit, and then people thought he was going to beg, but he says they did not beg. They just wanted the war to end. So Africans are not beggars. Gabs, what do you think?
That guy's full of And here's why I say that. Africans are beggars. Africans are institutionalized beggars. Begging is ingrained in every level of African culture. Period.
Okay.
Say what you want and call me a hater. Don't at me. Go argue with your mama. I don't give a Africans be begging, yo. Africans be begging at every phase of from government all the way down to the guy on the street.
Mm-hmm.
It's just presented and packaged in a different way. Let me give you an example, right? So he's talking about, on one hand, he's talking about how Africans want to be treated with equality and dignity and things of this nature. But a lot of these countries, I'm not going to say 100% of them, a lot of these same countries are the ones who leave themselves vulnerable and in need of help and assistance because they can't clean up in their own backyard. You know what I mean? Let's use Uganda for an example.
Yeah.
We are here in a country where people are always quick to say, don't bring that American ideology over here, right? LGBTQ laws be damned.
Yeah.
Whatever you Americans think, take your money and off, right? But then these are the same guys who are bending over backwards and twisting themselves into pretzels to make every Asian feel super comfortable here, no matter what.
Yes.
Right? Asians be out here doing some flagrantly foul shit. They misuse the resources. They mistreat their workers.
Yeah.
Economically, they don't contribute to anything other than themselves here. They don't add value to anything other than themselves here. And they extract more value than they add in. And yet Africans are here embracing these Chinese like they're our best friends. You know what I mean? So you can't say Africans aren't beggars, yet every highway that has been built over the last 10, 20 years was financed by Asian money. Okay? Every road improvement project that happens in this country is financed by Asian money. And what are the Asians investing in exchange for? What are they giving this money in exchange for? For ridiculously generous access to our natural resources and our country so that they can take full advantage of it, get all types of tax holidays, evacuate all of the money that they're making from Africa and take it back to their home nations. So for me, that represents Africa being a beggar. When you're willing to put yourself in a position where your nation is in jeopardy and your nation is vulnerable for the sake of not being able to organize yourself, when you need somebody else's money because you can't manage your own money, that's Africa being a beggar. That's Uganda being a beggar. How many ministers are out here enriching themselves? How many government officials are out here enriching themselves? How many people are out here enriching themselves with the money that Uganda would legitimately claim they have in order to qualify themselves as not needing to beg? If they just preserve that money, they wouldn't need anybody else's money, right? If Uganda understood how to leverage its natural resources and the economically viable parts of what we have here to the optimal effect, we definitely wouldn't need anybody's money. But because people are within the system playing around, they're comfortable to do so because they know that the president, for all of his forceful talk in the face of people who go against his ideologies, will very quickly turn around and shake hands with the devil for the sake of making sure that the country has enough money here, right? Let's take it even to the grassroots, right? Let me tell you how Ugandans be begging, right? You want me to be O'Shea today? I'm going to get my O'Shea on today. Let me tell you how these niggas be begging, man. You know what I mean? So I married a Ugandan woman, right? My brother, my older brother married a Rwandan woman, right? And at the time of both of our weddings, my old man sat down with us both and said, listen here, man, I don't want to hear a single goddamn word out of you talking about a wedding meeting.
Wedding lunch.
We don't fundraise. Fundraise for what? If you can't afford to pay for your own wedding, don't get married. That's our family's philosophy. If you cannot pay for your own wedding in full 150%, don't get married. You're not ready to get married. You're not qualified as a man to say, I want to get married if you can't pay for your own wedding. Right? Or you're not qualified as a family to go to somebody's home and request their daughter's hand in marriage if you can't facilitate that wedding to happen. Don't do it. Don't waste your time. For me, we refer to wedding meetings as institutionalized begging. You're sitting down.
Preach. You're sitting
down, presenting a budget of 100 times more than what you can afford to have a wedding, and you want 100% of that to be financed by your friends and family and your loved ones. Like, to me, that is the definition of I'm very happy and comfortable in a culture where we just beg each other for whatever it is that we need. So for me, that's the thing that sticks out. I get it. You know, these politicians, these world leaders, they're men and women of respect. They're men and women of prestige, and they've accomplished a hell of a lot more than I have the right to criticize them for. But on this one particular case, I will never sit down and just nod my head in agreement that yes, Africans are not beggars, because that is bullshit. Every country that you go to benefits from money or some kind of contribution from another partner that they're willing to compromise themselves in order to achieve.
Yeah.
And so as long as that's the standard, no African leader can stand up on a table and thump their chest and talk about we're not beggars. Show me the African country that is 100% sustainably independent unto itself. Maybe that was Libya. Maybe that's why they got rid of Gaddafi.
Woo.
Over to
Okay.
you.
Dr. Julie, what do you have to say?
Preach.
Point there.
That's another talking head, unfortunately. Much as he's a president of one of the biggest countries in Africa, it's just another talking head, honestly. What does it mean Africans are not beggars? We can't even make our own flour.
We can't.
Yeah, we import wheat from Ukraine to make our chapatis.
Imagine.
Why can't we use our own flour here? We have millet, we have cassava. The other day someone showed me someone made chapati out of pumpkin. But where is the big institutions? Where are they to make these things profitable? All right, they are not there. They would rather import wheat from Ukraine in a cold winter than actually grow pumpkins, process them, and make pumpkin powder or pumpkin paste, and we make our own chapatis. We need to get out of this system of every raw material, every processed material is from Europe, yet every raw material is from Africa. We have to industrialize. And unfortunately, I think it was Malcolm X who said it, or our Burundi president said it, that being a Pan-Africanist is a hard job because you have one hand in front pushing away the European and one hand behind pushing back the African. Because Africans, we don't defend ourselves. And why don't we defend ourselves? We don't discipline ourselves. Africans are known everywhere for being the most rowdy people. Why? Because when someone makes a mistake, in fact, we elevate them. We say, the guy chewed money, chewed 5 million, he would lose 2 years, come out and still spend the money.
Yeah.
And we even say, let us emulate that kind of thing.
It's celebrated.
We are celebrating bad habits, so-called corruption. Fine, him and his family will enjoy. Where will you be in the next 5 years? All right. So as long as we do not grit our teeth and say, let's do our own, we process our own products, we're wasting our time. Go to Carrefour and see. The other day I bought, what was this? Deodorant, the roll-on deodorant. I saw a sticker, on top it was in French. I saw a sticker, I pulled it. It was now German. I pulled another sticker, it's now in Russian. And why the stickers are being pulled? Because they're changing the codes.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the deodorant started in Russia. Then it went to Germany. Then it entered Paris.
Yeah.
Now it's in Uganda. By the way, it might have gone through Saudi Arabia first, then
Come here.
When are we going to stop this? We need to stop importing basic processing things. Not even a basic pencil, basic plastic. Imagine our upholstery industry. We import cloth or our cotton industries. Sometimes we run out of cotton. Instead of processing more cotton or finding a way to produce more cotton, we import cotton from China.
Yeah.
We import our upholstery from China. We sew it, we cut it, we make it a t-shirt and write made in Uganda.
Oh.
Stop fooling yourselves. Stop fooling yourselves. Let us stop fooling ourselves. If we do not have a reason, let me tell you, if we do not have a reason, all you say is we need the white man because of this. But I'll tell you one reason why we need ourselves: for survival. If we don't get our act together, in fact, we're already not getting our act together. In another 50 years, we will be living in a country which is not ours, but we're in Uganda. Sikulimba. I'm not lying. We need to get our act together via our finances and via our communities. If someone steps out of line, it's us to discipline our own people. We used to do it in the old days. Okay? Nowadays, when someone does something bad, we celebrate them. So we are going to continue begging because we can't take care of ourselves. We cannot discipline us. Germany was given 10 years to clear, to do reparations for World War II. From 45, they were given 10 years. They said, no, you give us 15 years. Will be done by 1960. Before 1960, they were done. I think they finished in 57. And people were like, oh, you've done such a good thing. Do you want more money? Like, no. We don't want your money. We don't want any more EU money. we can survive on our own. As you said, wedding meetings. They are now actually the two thing companies. Now. They're just there to someone will mint money out of you. And even on the wedding day, you see things are missing.
Things they talked about that will be there.
Yes. I've seen very many such things. So for me, wedding meetings, I have a cutoff point. Even if you're my relative, my best friend, I don't go above a certain level of case. Yeah, I have my break of when people say, hey, but you work hard. It's my money. It's my time. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And when I contribute a lot of money, millions to you, and then the next day I'm walking, you wouldn't even greet me.
Would you even care?
Let us beg.
The original African man. Do you think your people are beggars?
First of all, we'll start by dodging the wedding meetings. Because you find somebody has organizes, I have a friend who organizes like 15 wedding meetings. Every Sunday is a wedding meeting. So you ask yourself, Mnag, what is this? I think it's your close friend, so you have to attend. So if you don't attend, you look at it. But all in all, what the president was saying about begging, I don't know what he was up to. Because what I know, Africans, we are the best when it comes to begging.
Really?
Now we have mastered the art of begging. Just look at our country now here, Uganda.
Okay.
Always beg everything. There's nothing that can. Our budget, majority of it is begged funds.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Yeah. Constructing the roads, they have to beg. This money keeps coming. That's why when she mentioned that one day we shall wake up and the whole country was what? Has been sold.
Yeah.
Because we keep accumulating debt. There was a newspaper, I think is it New Vision, which stated that every Ugandan has a debt of is it 1.5 over 3 million, around it.
I think I saw that, yeah.
We are all in debt because of begging. We borrow money. I don't know, for some reason we fail to pay back. So, of course, interest keeps going up. We are in a total mess. So until we learn, I don't think. First of all, the leaders, these guys who borrow the money, at least if they were putting it into good use, maybe they would counter. But most of this money that is begged is what? Is stolen at the end of the day. So we just keep accumulating problems. So until we learn to empower ourselves, the people socially, economically, we're bound to face a lot of challenges.
Yeah, Gabs, what you had something to say?
Think about it like this. Take the average citizen's journey through life on a single day of their life. From the time that you leave home to the time that you return to your home. How many people have you encountered who are begging you, asking you for money that they haven't earned for you to give them? Yes?
Yeah.
In the morning, when you're sitting in the traffic light, in traffic, there's a kid there.
Asking
Then
for something.
there's always inevitably another, you know, that traffic light in Kololo right there by Kati Kati with that one wheelchair bound guy who's always rubbing his dirty ass fingers on my car window. I hate that guy. There's that guy, right?
Yeah.
Those street kids at the Ginger Road junction right there at Cargan House, who I feel like one day just gonna pull out a stone and break my window. Those are a gang of fucking young thugs in the making. Let me tell you something. So there's beggars in the street. Then you park your car and Askari runs up. Boss, I've guarded you. What did you do for me?
Exactly.
All you did was sit your ass on a stool over there. Now you want to come over here and beg me for 2K? Begging, right? You go to, imagine you go to URA. I want to pay my taxes, right?
Yeah.
In order to expedite me paying my taxes, please facilitate.
Pay me something.
You know what I mean? Police officer flags you down. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Very good. Hey,
Soda.
you're tumsime. You're akashari. You're my brother. Honashi. Kompaka karanchi.
Yeah, that's how they say.
Ka weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, yo. Seriously, like every individual that you could find who possibly could bring the words out of their mouths to ask you for something, does it. does it freely and does it unashamedly, does it
Yeah.
unabashedly. Every young girlfriend out there who feels the right to ask a dude for whatever, to do her nails, paint her toes, fix her hair. No,
Petition.
No, John, if we're going, let's go.
Tuition is different. Tuition
This
is
is a whole,
different.
It's okay, guys,
this is a
let's
whole
go.
But for your
goddamn
nails,
nation of
your
beggars.
hair.
A whole bunch of begging ass girls who just want a dude to finance their lifestyle so they don't have to work hard and become independent. And you're saying that your gift, this is your investment in me. You're a beggar, bitch. You're a beggar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same way, dudes. Oh man, my guy, listen here. I need a deal. I need something. Why don't you let me hold 50K for the weekend? I'll
Yeah.
pay you back in 3 days. Knowing good and goddamn well that money is never coming back to you.
coming back.
Everybody begs. I'm not trying to be hard on young ladies. I'm saying
No, it's okay.
everybody does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. So when you think about it, it's just ingrained in the culture. We as Africans, that's what people do, and we're unashamed about it. It's a point of pride at this particular point where
Yeah.
you can just laugh, shrug it off, and say, "Ha, Ugandans, eh? Ugandans, huh? Come on
Yeah.
now, like really, huh?"
That's life motto.
I offer no apologies for the fact that I believe begging is a right-minded thing to do in life, and it starts up here. If we as a culture knew that, we shun this type of behavior, we look down upon, we frown upon this kind of behavior, and it was installed in us from up top all the way down, it would make a difference. It would actually change something. We would have a sense of pride and dignity about ourselves that wouldn't allow us to compromise who we are in order to just get low-hanging
money.
fruit. Everybody
Yeah.
wants low-hanging fruit,
Yeah.
you know? So that's what it's always going to be for me. It's like, listen, when you talk about Africans be begging, we be begging. We be begging. It's not just the presidents. It's not just the police officers. It's not just the politicians. It's not just the business people. Everyone begs.
Beg.
Period.
Everyone is begging.
because it's okay to do so. Yes.
You know, I for one, I want to be optimistic.
Let's hear this.
Oh God, Minority Report.
I do want to be optimistic and say that we have the potential to not be beggars. We are beggars
Agreed.
as a continent. Gavs has mentioned there, all the ways we beg, all the ways we try to get money that we've not worked for, all the ways we feel entitled to money that's not ours. So he has mentioned all that. But I feel like Africa as a continent has so many resources and so many and so much talent for us as a nation to decide, hey, you know what? If we actually utilize what we have, if we use what we have to advance ourselves, then I'm pretty sure we can stop being beggars. But like I think Dr. Julie mentioned, it starts from the top. The system is already rigged from the get-go. Like the system is already working against you. How are you going to start not begging? Or how are you going to want better for yourself or do better for yourself and get out of this whole asking for something when the system itself is not in your favor? The system is not your favor. The government is on a whole different thing. And by that, when we did economics, I did economics, and then there's like a whole topic about the country getting debt. So it's encouraged. The country is encouraged to get debt to facilitate what it wants to do. You know, to building the infrastructure, the roads, the hospitals, and whatnot. Economically, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, economically, they say it's better to get the debt than to put the money yourself up front. Because you get the debt and then you're stuck with them for a few years and then you get these taxes and then try to pay back the debt. But then it's like an ongoing cycle that never ends. Yeah. But that's how the guys in economics see it. Like you have to get into debt for you to build the country that you're in.
Lies.
We'll get to Dr. Julie. But yeah, I do, on this one, I'm going to be optimistic and say we have the potential of not being beggars. But yes, on the other hand, I do believe that some Africans are beggars, that they take begging to a whole other level. There is no shame in this begging. There are men asking for money from women. So if that's not the biggest form of begging, I don't know what is. Splitting bills? Okay, I'm going too far. But what I'm trying to say is
Both sides of the aisle. It's both sides of
what I'm
the
trying to say is,
wait.
yes, as a continent, there's a lot of begging in terms of, asking for money to fund the infrastructure, asking for money to build hospitals, to build roads, to do this and that, to even build something as simple as, I won't mention it, but like the State House. I'm sure they got money from somewhere to
For
build
sure.
it. It wasn't money that came from the country and whatnot. But yeah, the begging is ongoing. It's too much, at a certain point. I feel like when these leaders say certain things, they're trying to be optimistic and change the perception of people. But you can see South Africans in the comment section saying, oh, he's worried about the rest of the world while people in his own country are suffering.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Dr. Julie, you were going to say something.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Really? When I say, what did I say?
Oh yeah, you mentioned that we have to get a credit. They call it credit
Yeah.
in order to build.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
But as a country, is it
It's a lie. It's a way to keep us locked into foreign aid, or should we say, addicted to foreign aid. Foreign aid is like a bad drug, it's like heroin. Like, in fact, ganja is nice. It's really bad because the first taste is nice. You want more, and you want more and more and more, but you cannot afford it. So you keep borrowing. So it becomes just an addiction. And it's for Africa and South America. Yeah. Okay, because one, the trade laws are pro-Europe, pro-West. Trade laws are not for us. So they want to make sure they stay on top of us. Why should we beg for chocolate when we are the continent which produces the most chocolate in the world? Our trees are cocoa trees.
Yeah.
It's because the trade agreements say we cannot trade to other areas except England. Okay, why does Mali have to borrow from France, yet France gets gold from Mali? Because the trade laws say that. And Mali is only allowed to borrow 15%. If they borrow more, then they get credit. When I was in England, I wanted to study from England, Sussex University. They used to chase me down, take a credit card. I said, I don't want credit card. Jagala debit. Why? Debit means once my money runs out, I can't buy anything.
Yeah.
I will struggle.
Yeah.
I'll suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
They said, no, we want you to have credit. Yet my white compatriots were giving them debit cards and even saving cards.
Yeah.
So they could save money and invest. They would give these white people things like where the latest plot of land in Sussex, which is good, or the latest place to rent. For us, all the time they were giving us
Credit.
buy credit for the latest sneaker, latest Nike sneaker, the latest iPhone. And I said, I don't want that. I want to go home with some money in my pocket. They refused us. They would just tell us get credit cards. So I said, let me go to China, at least China. The first thing I asked about China, are you giving me a credit or a debit card? You can ask the embassy official. I said, if you're giving me a credit card, I'm not coming. Because it is structured that we stay poor. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Are we just going to also accept to stay poor? Or are we going to outsmart them? Please, and I say outsmart.
Yeah.
Fighting gets you nowhere. You just get killed.
Yeah.
And your family as well.
Yeah.
The other day I was reading a very sad story. Martin Luther King was assassinated. His brother was drowned in a pool. His mother was shot 7 years later while playing piano. You can see they were just cleaning out the whole family. Why? He was very vocal. The problem when you're very vocal, they Martin Luther King you, they Thomas Sankara you. So there's a way, in fact, I should stop talking.
Yeah. Clip it.
Lovely point.
Yeah, but Dr. Julie, I feel like as a country, not to say I'm defending credit, but as a country, if we relied on ourselves, they would tax us heavily. We wouldn't be able to live in this country if the country decided to stop getting foreign aid or stop getting into debt.
Well, it's about, again, as you said, policies.
Yeah.
If we revise the policies, things can change. Because the bottom line, if we are to get credit, don't get more than 30%. Hover between 15 and 25. That's where you should go. As we are in 70%, 80, really,
yeah,
120. How do you expect us not to beg? All right? Math, that's why I like math. Math is a universal language, and it doesn't lie. When you see the numbers, you're like, oh no, this is bad. Okay? You can change it to Chinese, it's the same thing will happen. You can change it to Russian, that same thing will happen. Okay?
Yeah. I want to ask each one of you, give us a scenario where you went to a certain place and you feel like these are a bunch of beggars. Like there's a lot of begging going on here. And you feel like you need to hold on to your wallet. Like I need to protect myself and my wallet because everyone is just coming at me wanting a piece of what I have to offer.
Let me start.
Please.
when I moved to Kampala streets and I met the slay queens, I knew it was time to hold my wallet because
And they were begging.
they were begging. Yes,
But
That's
wait, do they beg? Or they say, Brian, I need this amount of money? Or do they...
that is begging. I tell you
That's
what.
begging.
Oh, okay, that's begging. But there's like another thing that they do where it's just like they provide you with a problem to solve.
That is still begging. You know, begging comes in different forms.
Guys are looking at me like, I can't believe why did she get the shit she said.
It is one package. Yeah.
So that's when you feel like, so are you still
I knew I
dating
had to
these
hold
slay
it
queens?
too. I knew I need to hold my wallet tight. Yes.
Are you still dating these slay queens?
That's another topic for now. Let's move to the next.
Dr. Julie, when did you feel like there's a lot of begging going on? I need to look poor to survive here.
I think one of the best advices I got was when I was in primary school.
Mm-hmm.
I had an Indian friend girl. She was called Pritpal. So Pritpal Chana. So she's the one who kind of taught me how to always, at least at the end of the month, have at least 5K extra in your pocket. At least 10K. You understand? And that time we were kids. So 5K, 10K was a lot.
Yeah.
So I've kept that in my mind. At least end of the month, let me have at least 100K floating in my account or 200K. I might not be saving for big, but at least I've saved something for a rainy day. And that thing keeps you in check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I think as Gab said, I also agree with him. Anange wedding meetings.
Yeah.
I'm done with wedding. Me these days when people call me for wedding meetings, I'll send my contribution. I don't go. As soon as you enter, you are charged for coming late. If you come early, you are again charged. Buy a drink, you're charged. To say a point, you're charged. Mananga, it's like taxation.
Yeah.
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 And then at the end of the wedding meeting, you have to flee because if you even stand in the compound,
Yeah. They'll find you. They'll find
they'll charge
something.
you. It's pathetic, honestly.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. And and a wedding is a personal. It's two families, right? But it's actually two people at the end of the day joining together. All right. So there's a way it should remain intimate. But with wedding meeting, it's become too commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unnecessary. Just I don't understand it.
When I was young, maybe like 9 years old, we were traveling from Indonesia coming to Uganda for a holiday. And we passed through Mumbai. At the time, it was called Bombay.
Yeah.
And we spent a day there. And the journey from the airport to our hotel,
Yeah.
it was like, you know, like that show, The Walking Dead? When you're trying to drive a car through all of those zombies.
Yeah.
Imagine you're like that in a city, but all of those are beggars.
What?
Like the streets were jam-packed, like shoulder to shoulder to shoulder, people begging, street hawkers selling, unfortunate women with a small child and a big man and a small boy, little girl, you name it. Human beings of every size, shape, and age were out there on the streets begging. It was incredible that was the first time in my life that I ever encountered and saw like a scene like that. This was like in 1987, 8, right? So, when you asked that question about like, so that was the first time. Of course, I didn't feel vulnerable because I was inside the car and all of that stuff. But now, like here in UG, like things are tight, man. Let me tell you something. Like you can feel vulnerable in anywhere. You can feel vulnerable anywhere. Like everybody's out to get what you have.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a piece of what you got. And I'm not one of those guys who can just walk downtown looking broke because I need to be fly every day of my life.
Exactly.
So I can't hide it. I can't help it. I'm not going to disguise myself. I'll put a target on my back and I just go.
The walking target.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go into the market and I'm trying with my, my American accent and my non-existent Luganda or Nyankole, depending on where I am.
Yeah.
I'm talking, trying to buy whatever it is that I'm trying to buy. Oh man, next thing you know, boom.
Yeah.
It's a swarm. So it's become a fact of life. It's become one of those things. It's just secondary to just like the air that we breathe, when you look around, you'll see somebody begging.
Yep.
And we I always try and get to one of these situations. They're like, what are we going to do? How are we going to move forward? How are we going to break ourselves out of this? This shit ain't never going to change. It's just going to be one cycle after the other. I mean, you remember the stories of the Bush War, President Museveni and his NRM soldiers liberating Uganda from the grips of a authoritarian presidency and trying to do all of these things to give the people the liberties that they so richly desired. Now, 40 years later, here we are, and our same president is now looked at as the merchant of despair for many people because of the system that he has allowed to proliferate under his reign. So what I'm saying is that this is all cyclical. It's all cyclical. One day it'll be good, the other day it gets worse, and then it gets better, and then it gets worse, and then it gets better, and then it gets worse. So I'm not optimistic that there's a permanent change. What I will say is that potential is a 4-letter word.
Okay.
Potential is a 4-letter word, right? You can be really good when you meet your potential, or you can be some shit if you don't.
Yeah.
So it all depends on who you are and how you look at yourself. And when you look at Uganda and you look at our continent and you look at the enterprising youth that are out there, and you look at the unicorns of startups that have come up, and you see the potential, you see the glory and the brilliance of Africa's youth and what it is that we have the potential to achieve over the next 20, 25 years. I agree with you, it's there. But the people that organize the systems that they're living in are the ones who continue to maintain that status quo where we just can't get free. We just can't get free. So now when these guys who are 25, 30 years old, when they're 60, 70 years old, are they good? Are they just going to be satisfied with the wealth that they've accumulated through suspicious means? Are they going to be happy with that? And then are they going to now be the ones who are pulling levers to protect that and keep themselves fat and happy? I mean, I just feel like it's a never-ending cycle. Unfortunately, it's sad to say that, but yeah, I just want the environment to be right. I want global warming not to happen. I want my kids to live in a world where it's not like the surface of the sun.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I think about nowadays.
Oh, look at you.
Begging and shady people in Africa.
Middleman.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is what it is.
I just got to make sure they don't get the best of me.
Mine would be I have a best friend. My best friend, she's called Brita. She does this thing where she teaches for free. So they like send her to a certain district, like a village somewhere. It's in Bugiri. Is it Buyukwe? No. It's on the road to Ginger. Is it? No, it's Ginger, then you get inside. It's on the road to Mbale or Busia. Guys, it's somewhere on that road. It's Buyukwe. Anyway, we get there and I go see her and whatnot. She's like, oh, this is a class I teach at. But like people, from the moment we got there, like there was someone asking her for something. Oh, like they got teacher, like give me 500 for something. Teacher, like they kept asking her for money. I'm like, how do you survive? You're here 3 months, every 3 months in a year. How do you handle this? Like everyone was asking for something from them. We're walking from her place to like the trading center to get something to eat, and everyone wanted something. Even while we're waiting for our food, a kid just walked up to us and like, oh, Mpayo, like give me some money. And I'm just like, guys, how would you survive in this area if everyone is asking you for money? So that's the one time I felt like we need to like protect my wallet and whatnot. But in the end, it's just like, I feel like parents also teach kids how to be beggars in a way, because there's no way your kid is coming to me with all this game to get some money. I'm sure they didn't come up with that. It's the parent who is teaching the child how to be a beggar. And then it's like, how are you going to break the cycle? If you're begging yourself as a parent, now you must teach your child. Now your child is going to end up becoming a thug or a crook or something like that if they don't wise up and they go to school or something like that. So it's a never ending cycle that I hope does break.
Can I piggyback
Please.
on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so our education system is rigged also. Much as I'm an educator, I know it's rigged. Why? Because all continents except Africa and Latin America they teach personal financial knowledge or acumen. Personal financial. If you get 5K today, what do you do with it? Which percentage do you spend? Which percentage do you save? Which percentage do you use for later? We don't do it here. We don't do it at home. We don't do it at school. We don't do it at office. How do you expect that cycle to break? If the parents, that's how they have just learned. Every time you get money, spend. Isn't it what they used to do? Our parents used to do that. Also, us we're doing it because it's a habit now.
Yeah.
When we get, but you go to a European or Asian home, they put piggy banks. They put there's that funny lucky cat, which is its arm. That lucky cat is there to tell you, save money. Stop spending so much. Save money. That's how the luck comes. Save and invest, save and invest. So when are we going to start teaching our own selves how to save and invest? And just don't save money. Even if you save money, for what? I'm saving. If you say I'm saving money for my new saucepan or my new souffleur or my new stool in the house, or that makes more sense than just saying save. Because even the other day, the bank was like, oh, we have this bank saving system. If after 5 years you get this profit. And I said, in those 5 years, I think I would have bought some land. Can you give me at least a proposal how I can buy land? They said, we don't have it. I said, then I don't want you to save my money for me. It's my own hard-earned money. Let me use it and buy land.
Yeah.
It's more. It's first it's collateral. So in case I get into debt, I can use it. But these savings, if I get into debt, it's just paper.
Let me even piggyback further on what Dr. Julia has just said. We have this educational system that is built around preparing students to pass exams. But it's not built around preparing students for the rigors of real life.
Yes.
So when you look at parenting, particularly from the generation of parents who have had kids in the 1980s and after, let's call it the post-Museveni kids, right?
The planned kids.
Right? The planned kids. The kids who grew up in a situation where, okay, now the country is stable, mom and dad can work and take care of us and provide for us. But you know what mom and dad have defaulted to doing? They went through some hard times. They went through some challenges. They went through some struggles and some difficulty in their lives. And so what they're now determined to do is to say, you know what, son, daughter, I don't want you to feel any pinch of discomfort. As long as I can influence that you don't feel that level of discomfort, you're not going to feel it. So I will work hard. I'll make sure that even when you're 25, 30, 35, I'll still help you. I'll pay your bills. Let alone even pay your bills. You're going to live in my home.
Yeah.
Here. Sleep in the bedroom right next to mom and dad's bedroom when you're 30 plus years old as a grown adult, unemployed. But it's okay because you're my child and that's a responsibility that I have. For me, that lack of adult responsibility and adult accountability is really what needs to be remedied. And it needs to be fixed in a very, very major way. I mean, I can guarantee you right now, if I asked you, John, name 5 grown adults who are still dependents in your family. Can you name them?
Yeah.
Yes. Brian, same?
Yeah.
Juliet, same?
5++.
5++. Grown adults. I'm talking about grown, able-bodied adults.
Yes.
Who have a sane mind and physical fitness to actually be able to get up and go out and do things, but they are straight dependents on other people. And a lot of the time, they're depending on people who are younger than them. My younger sibling, my niece, my nephew, my younger cousin who has made a thing out of themselves in life. And because of the familial pressure, they feel the need because it's just a few $100,000 here and there. I can give it to them, right? But that lack of accountability, that lack of personal responsibility, like for me, that's one of like the things that like fundamentally offends me about all like of all things in life that could offend me. If you're a grown adult begging somebody for money, it's worse. It's worse than anything. But what's even worse than that is if you're an adult enabling another adult to remain a beggar. I feel like you're your own child's worst enemy. I'm talking about 50-something-year-old, 60-something-year-old mom and dad who should be retired and relaxing right now have to continue to work because your 30-something-year-old kid can't get their shit together and they're still living in your home and you need to pay their bills, yet they're not contributing anything. Yet when they want to go out and have drinks with their friends, you're pulling money out of your wallet and giving it to them for pocket money because it's not safe. I don't want you to go out without a dime. Go the out and don't come back. So
Yeah.
we be begging, man.
Yeah.
And it's a culture, and unfortunately it is what it is, but we pray.
Indeed.
We
Pray, and I think we also need to change because, as he said, some parents are still taking care of their kids, but many of us kids now take care of our parents,
Yes.
right? So that cycle now is reversed. They call it the black tax in
Yeah.
South Africa. If you're rich, you have to take care of the whole family, right?
Yeah.
And much as, okay, you want to thank them, is it like obliged? There's a thank you, there's a gift, there's gifting, then there's obligation. Now the gift has turned into obligation. So we get perpetually, because we need to sort out this financial thing. Honestly, we can't keep begging amongst ourselves. We need to build ourselves up. We need to build ourselves up financially, intellectually. Even our parents, they had so much trauma. Like my mom lost so many brothers and sisters. So she hates seeing anyone suffering. But in doing that, she's actually making us suffer because we get Peter Pan syndrome. Like if I have a problem, let me go to mom. Let me go. Meanwhile, my dad was umbwakali. You did what?
You survive.
You spent your money on what? You find a way to get it back.
That's it.
That's it. Go out into the world and that thing made us have strong backbones. At least for me, made me have a strong, because I realized there are consequences for me spending badly.
Yeah.
And there are also consequences, or should I say there are benefits for me spending well.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, this was a nice one. I loved this one. But tell them where they can find you.
Everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Outer Brand, OUTA Brand. Yeah, check me out.
Okay, Dr. Julie.
Okay, I'm on Instagram, Dr. Julie 2022
Yeah.
or 23. I'll find out. Then Twitter, I'm on Dimples SoUG.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you'll find me. Hit me up. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this. At Master Gabs on Instagram and on Twitter. Agaba Tumusime MBA on your LinkedIn. Check me out.
Yeah, guys. I like how serious this is getting.
I'm professional with it, man. You know what I mean? I'm professional with
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I'm trying to raise my profile, man. People need to understand that we're up here having intelligent conversations and we're accomplished people in our own right. So just because you see my nickname and my Twitter and my Instagram handle
Master
sounds like
Gabs.
I'm a cool guy.
Yeah.
Come check out the real life version of me too. I think you'll like that too.
Okay, perfect. Guys, if you have anything you'd like to send to us, email us at teamkenganda@gmail.com. Follow us on all our social media pages at Kenganda Nation. Do all the nice things. If you're looking for love, subscribe to the Pan-African Dating Show. Or we also have a WhatsApp group for our viewers. So the link is just in the description box. We'll see you guys next time.